Look at all the money. You just got all this money. What's wrong with you? Why would you be sad? Look at all this money you got. But you're like, but I put my life into this dog.
I said, hey, I got good news and I got bad news.
No, you
know
didn't.
the bad news. The bad news is we're stuck about 700,000 out of the million. The good news is we're gonna make 100 million.
The business that is not struggling at the beginning, is a fake business. And we are full in this city, about the fake business. People that they see success.
Can you stay grounded with the level of success that Romero Brito has?
Well, I mean, I think I myself, I know that tomorrow, any second I can be gone.
So in your 20s, I try to tell people, figure out a way to make as much money as possible. I'm trying to get my nephews to be like, you guys need to get in sales because I don't want you to get some sort of salary. I mean, you're new into entrepreneurship too, Alberto, where like you get to eat what you kill.
Yes. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
So Aaron, you sell a company at 25. Mm-hmm. You make close to, you sell it for close to $50 million. Mm-hmm. And then you publicly admit that was like falling off a cliff, which doesn't make any sense to most people. So can you walk me through that moment? Was there like an evening after you signed where everything started going like downhill?
It happens very slowly and then all at once, and, don't get me wrong. I think as an entrepreneur, like having that moment is what you work for. And it's, I think, what every entrepreneur at least dreams of, some form of a liquidity event. But to describe the feeling is very difficult. And it's took me close to 5 years, because anyone I would speak to and say, I'm not feeling so good about this, they'd be like, what are you talking about, dude? I'd burn my money if I can get yours, or I would do anything, and you should be grateful. And so you start to internalize it. You say, I can't talk to anyone about this because they're going to throw it back in my face and tell me all the things that I should be happy about. And it took me like almost 4 years to really encapsulate what it would feel like. So, do you have a dog?
I do.
Okay. So how old's your dog?
We don't know, but he's guesstimated to be 13 years old.
Okay, 13 years old. So let's say 13-year-old dog. Imagine tomorrow, you've done a good job with this dog. You took it from what it was, you treat it so well, you feed it, you cater it, your whole life revolves around this dog. We have to, all this stuff, all this effort, all this love, all this time. Someone comes today when you get home after the podcast, and they knock on your door. And they say, I saw you walking your dog the other day. What a beautiful dog. So here's some money. Here's a lot of money. And I'm going to take your dog. Thanks. And then not only that, you're not mad. You're like, oh my God, yes, I've worked so hard building this dog. Here, take the dog. Take the dog. And now, right after, everybody comes to your house and we celebrate you giving your dog away for money. How do you think you would feel?
So far, so good, but at the same time, I'll be missing the dog.
Right. You have this part of you, you're like, oh my God, I miss my dog. And you feel a little bit empty inside. And it's very
I feel very empty if I have done anything like that with my dog.
Yeah. You would cry, you would be sad, but all these people would be looking at you like, what's wrong with you? Look at all the money. You just got all this money. What's wrong with you? Why would you be sad? Look at all this money you got. But you're like, but I put my life into this dog. And it's very similar in this case. The dog can be very similar to your business, where you spend so much time and effort building this business. It becomes a part of your identity. It has a piece of your heart. And then one day someone comes and gives you money and takes it from you. And they're going to go raise your dog. They go, you did such a good job raising the dog. I'm going to raise the dog now. And as in our world, in the entrepreneurship world, that's the norm. That's what's supposed to happen. This is what we want. We want to put food on the table. We do it for the greater good of our family and our bloodline. And I'm not against selling your company, but I wanted to bring light to the idea of it's not just this big honeymoon phase. There is a moment where you have to mourn the loss of your dog. And at 25, 26 years old, I didn't know anyone that sold their company. I found my M&A lawyer on a Google search. I made so many mistakes. I did it all alone. My parents, they worked hard, but they weren't business owners. And we didn't really come for much. It was life-changing money for my whole bloodline. And at 25, I got to encapsulate all of this. So when I describe it, I say, was the greatest moment of my life and also one of the worst moments in my life, but at the exact same time.
Wow.
And to manage those emotions were extremely difficult.
Now, if we go back, I mean, you were an ice hockey player for the longest time.
Yeah.
You went to college and you started being very entrepreneurial while you were waiting, for the college, selection and everything else. And what I gather from your story is that you tried different things from, window cleaning to anything else you come up with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was you were looking for problems to be solved, which I think is a concept that not everybody thinks about when they're putting together a business. You went back to the sketchy people to get more money?
Had to.
You're kidding me.
Had to.
You don't do that again.
Where am I going? Where am I going? Wells Fargo? Like I said, I'm not. So I went back to them. I said, "Hey, I got good news and I got bad news."
No, you
know
didn't.
the bad news. The bad news is we're stuck about 700,000 out of the million. The good news is we're gonna make 100 million. I sold them the dream. That's a big thing in business too. You have to be ready to create the dream and sell the dream. That's very, very important. So it's not just about producing, because producing is the most important thing once you've sold the dream and raised the money. But in order to raise the money, you have to sell. You have to sell your idea. You have to own your idea and be passionate about it and believe in it. Always believe in it. Not believe in something for the sake of believing in it, but really believe in it. And if you don't believe in what you're selling, don't sell it. I believed in it because I saw the results. I saw the phone system blow up. I knew I had the source, for the marketing. So we went and we looked for something that was technologically more suitable. And that became Costa Rica. And the rest is history.
What happens if you oversell the dream?
So again, if you believe in the dream and you really believe in it, you oversell it. What happens if you oversell the dream? You can only oversell the dream if it fails. And guess what? Success is failure turned inside out. You can never be scared of failing in business. It's part of it. And the age I was at, if you're out there and you're 22 and 23 to 28, that age group, failing is good. Go fail. Go dream. Now's the time to dream. You don't want to be 54 like me and still dreaming. Although I do believe in dreaming to a certain extent, but you don't want to be working your first dream at 54. 22, 23, 24, dream hard. I call it the steak and bread and butter dinner. Right? That is like you have the bread and butter, which is like your job at the restaurant where you're making your money and learning how to deal with people and going in the mirror when you get at home and receiving dignity because you're working hard at something. It's a shitty job. You don't want to be a waiter the rest of your life, but you're doing it. You're doing it and you're living in your mom's house and you're taking that money and you're putting it in the bank into an investment account and you're just working to work. That's your bread and butter. And then your steak. Your steak is your dreams. Like, what do you want to do? What's the thing that you do that doesn't feel like work when you're doing it? And you want to do that. Like, this is what you do. You like the podcasting. You like entertainment. You use your right side of your brain. You're creative. When we're here doing this doesn't even feel like work to you.
You're right.
Right. So either way you win if you get to do this. And I would probably guess that you'd rather make $200,000 doing this than $400,000 working for somebody else all day, 20 hours a day, doing something you don't like.
And I learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
I learned it the hard way. Yeah.
But you learned it.
Starting something on your own can feel very overwhelming, especially if you're not sure where to begin. You have the drive, the dream, but no roadmap. That's exactly why Univista Franchise exists. It's not just a proven business. It's a system that already helps hundreds of people start successful insurance agencies across the country. With over 260 locations, Univista gives you a turnkey model. That means the brand, the training, the support, the technology, it's already built. So you just bring your ambition. You don't need to be an insurance expert. You don't even need prior experience. They'll guide you every step of the way, from launch to long-term growth. Many franchisees have even grown into having multiple offices, and the startup costs lower than you'd expect for something this solid. I've known Univista's president, Ivan Herrera, for years, and I've seen lives change through this model. So visit univistafranchise.com to explore if this could be your next move. Seriously, univistafranchise.com. This could be the opportunity you've been waiting for.
When you are an entrepreneur, you're gonna go to struggling, you're gonna go to bad situation, you're gonna have people that even relative to you that betray you, that they try to copy you, they try to do bad thing to you. But at the end of the day, that's what you decide to do. That's your life, and you have to go through that through all that process.
Ivan, a lot of people, including myself, that are starting an entrepreneurial journey, we see that we're putting in a lot of work. We put in the hours, we talk to everybody, we make the phone calls, we try to sell. And we keep seeing that the curve doesn't go up as much as we want it to go up.
It will.
And that's the hope that I'm trying to get from you, because I mean, I get goosebumps just by sharing this with you. But you had one office that was in very bad shape. You start working, your wife working with you in the office and the kids and everything else. And now fast forward and you're looking at over 3,000 employees, over 250 offices. At what point does the curve go steep up in your case? And what can that teach me?
There's no way that you are working the way that you are working, and the way that you present yourself, and the way that you are with your relative, with your friends, and with your customers, that you're gonna be in bad shape if you still doing that. Of course, you are building a true business. When you are building a true business, you are gonna go through all that. The business that is not struggling at the beginning, is a fake business. And we are full in this city, about the fake business. People that they see success the other way. It doesn't matter. They don't care where the money comes from, to who they have to screw, to who they have to lie, to who they have to betray. And they think that the result of that is money for yesterday. Money is coming in for yesterday. That's not a true business. So when you are building something, you're gonna go through all that you are seeing right now. A lot of when you try to call somebody, it's gonna tell you not. Let me tell you, right now it's easy to lend me money. The banks, friends, everybody, hey, you need something, let me know. But when I was struggling, nobody was giving you nothing. No credit, no nothing. I had property paid that I went to the bank, and the banks laugh at me. A local bank here laugh at me. And it's not just the strolling as a normal business, but it's everything surround your business. When you start doing well, that you are creating a business, a legitimate business, everybody's gonna say something against you. They are gonna play with your reputation. They are gonna say that you are doing something else. I don't know. I have more story out there than the Chapo Guzman, And the people that knows me from the beginning, since I came to this country, they know that everything is work, everything is honesty, and everything is doing the right thing at the right time. But the only thing that I can tell you, Alberto, is that sometimes you quit when the success is right there. So don't quit.
Can you stay grounded with the level of success that Romero Brito has?
Well, I mean, I think I myself, I know that tomorrow, any second I can be gone at that, So I just had to make sure I take care of my time and what I'm here for, create my art, because otherwise you're gonna get like dispersed, so much happening, and everybody wants to have a little piece of the action, and then at the end of the day, there's nothing left for you. So you have to be extremely careful with your time, and that's one thing for me. I try my best to do it, to take care of my time, and I do understand that everything's very temporary. So
interesting. Everything is very temporary, and you're maximizing your time, meaning it's the only thing that we have is the time, and it's the only thing we probably don't even know how much we have.
Exactly.
Right? Interesting. Were there things and eye-opening moments in your life that made you realize that? Did you have a moment where everybody just wanted Romero and you realized that that it made no sense? How did that come about?
It was not like one, listen, when people ask me, oh, how it is to be successful or whatever, I tell people, listen, it was not like I win the lottery. It's not like I got married to somebody rich and one day you're here and the other day you're on the other side. Or it was not like I'm not like a sports star that sometimes you make a contract with somebody, with a team, and then one day you're like in the slums or whatever, and next day you buy a house in the best neighborhood of
It was not an
whatever
overnight
city.
success.
It was not an overnight success. So it was many moments that came to me that happened, and that I'm very observant. I'm very aware about, I try to be as much aware as possible about, my surrounding, what I'm doing, what I'm going, and there you go. I mean, you have to be very aware, have some sort of self-awareness, and want something so badly. If you want to be an artist, if you want to be a business person, whatever you want to do, you have to understand that you have to work hard for it.
I like that. So you said, I really like the idea that you are definitely not an overnight success. You've been, through a lot of different things, but I like the idea that it's different moments of success that take you to the next level. I imagine, for example, one of them has to be the Absolute vodka bottle, for example. This is back in late 80s,
You probably were not even born.
Well, thank you for the compliment, but I was born already.
You were? Oh, God. So funny. I thought that was older than you.
So moments like that, like the absolute bottle, is it, how much of that is preparation? How much of that is luck?
Well, I have to say, the more preparation you have, the more opportunity is going to come to you and you're ready to go. It's like you're traveling and somebody say, hey, do you want to go to like a party that you need to wear a tuxedo? So if you travel with a tuxedo and a business suit, you may cover everything, you know what I mean? But if you're not ready, so that's why it's very important for you to prepare yourself all the time. Like if somebody come to my house, I don't have to be sweating to clean my house because it's clean no matter what for me. Every day I do my bed. I do my own bed.
You do your own
pillows, everything. I have 9 pillows in my bed, and I do it. And I don't sleep with them. I have one pillow that I sleep with, and all the other ones are like crispy, like no wrinkle whatsoever. You can come over and do a photograph today, right now, in my apartment. It's perfect.
Wow. So this is what I'm gathering. I'm gathering that, it's preparation, very important, but you have this next level preparation where it really feels like if anybody goes to your room today, they could do a photo shoot there.
Yeah.
Like that's how you operate.
Yeah.
9 pillows, you only use one, but you know where to place your nine pillows.
I know.
Is there an obsession behind that? Are you close to what they say that the people that are OCD
call, it works for me. If it's an obsession or whatever it is.
Hey, real talk. Did you know most people listening right now haven't tapped that subscribe button? This is your chance to join the crew and never miss a story that could change your life. Hit follow because that tiny action helps us go bigger, pull more amazing guests, and bring you a podcast that's teaching us all how to navigate life's biggest challenges and accomplish our dreams. So please join us and subscribe. You also said in an interview that there's a book you read, You're a Badass at Making Money, that makes you do an exercise where you write a letter to your money. Is it possible that some of us listening or watching are not making it or being successful enough because we don't have a good relationship with the money and that's why the money is not coming?
Oh, I think of course. If you continue to say things to yourself like, I don't understand money, I'm bad with money, like, oh, people who have a lot of money are greedy, whatever negative connotation you have, it's no different than saying like, I'm never going to meet anybody. There are no men to date. There's no men in Miami, right? Because what you do when you say that out loud, one thing I have learned is we want to be right. So we start to look for evidence of any bad date you go on. It's like, see, told you there's no men in Miami, right? Or let's just say you overdraft your checking account. Oh, see, I'm so bad with money. So you have to, one, start to think like, okay, why do I think these things for one? And is that identity serving me? Is this belief that I have around, we'll just stick with money, actually benefiting me in any real way? And I see people, the common one I see is when people don't have a lot of money, it's sort of this noble thing. Well, I don't need a lot. I just don't need a lot to be happy. And I'm like, who said anything about money and happiness? But money, I would rather have money than not have money. I can give. I have freedom. I have the type of money where if I don't want to do something, I don't have to do it. I can make impact. I can change somebody's entire life. I can solve problems. I can do a lot of things with money. So I'd rather have it in my hands than anybody else's hands. And I've earned and feel like I deserve every bit of what I have. So this letter that Jen Sincero asked you to write to money, it's really brilliant. She asked you to personify it, like talk to money as if it's a human, and there's some really interesting examples they give in there of just like, I feel, I want you to come around more often, but you make me feel bad about myself, or, I feel like you don't respect me or something,
That sounds like money therapy.
It's true, but most people don't think about, do you have a money practice or what's your money mindset? And, I look at some of my family members who continue to just think so small about money, and they've never allowed themselves to be like, can I make $1 million? What would I do with $1 million? And I have this thing as I've started to make more money, how important it is, Alberto, to up your expensive ceiling. And that means like, if you say to yourself, $1,000 for a flight is expensive, I'd say, okay, how long have you thought that? Have you always thought that for the last 20 years of your life? That tells me that you're not growing and elevating in any which way. You're not making more money. And there's a lot of people who end up making more money, but they just end up suffocating and squeezing it. And so I think of my mom, who, again, I respect and admire. She's a public school teacher her whole life, but she had to work and money's invested, and it like I had to 40 years for her to make $1 million. So how do you think she approaches money? Scarcity mindset. It took so long for her to make that, so she doesn't spend it. Right. So it just sits there.
And you're saying up your expensive
ceiling.
Ceiling. So
right.
How can I up my expensive ceiling if I'm not making the kind of money that I may need for that perception?
Well, you need to do both, right? So I'm hoping that people are making more today than they were 10 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. But if your level of again, giving or spending hasn't really, changed, then what's the point of making more money? Because I think if you start to spend a little bit more, then you're challenging yourself, well, now I need to make a little bit more. And people will be like, oh, that's lifestyle creep. That's how you stay up. I'm like, not really, because there's this great question that people get asked of, would you rather save $1 or make $1? And the people that would normally want to save $1, again, have the scarcity mindset that they don't trust that they know how to make money. So in your 20s, I try to tell people, figure out a way to make as much money as possible. I'm trying to get my nephews to be like, you guys need to get in sales, because I don't want you to get some sort of salary. I mean, you're new into entrepreneurship too, Alberto, where like you get to eat what you kill. And I want them to understand that I want you to start thinking about your time value of money. How long is it taking you? Some people are like, I have $100,000 salary. Like $100,000 sounds great. But I'm like, if you're working 60 hours a week, you're working for like $18 an hour. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying your time is worth? So challenging yourself to say, how can I make $100 an hour or whatever your
and then 500 and then 1,000 and then just increase it.
You need to, and then say, okay, well, what value can I provide? What service can I offer? Mm-hmm. What sales can I do? My brother now sells cars, and I'm proud of him.